IPL is just about a week old and it's too early to read into the performances of teams.
So far, it's been quite interesting. I think, especially with the record total, being broken.
For a change this year, I think thanks to the two bouncer rule, almost all the teams have gone pace heavy.
It doesn't so much matter what results happen early on. We know statistically over the seasons, teams that do really well in the beginning don't necessarily go on to do well towards the end.
Welcome to Gulf News Video Chat Straight Back. IPL is back, so are we. I'm Shyam Krishna and with me is sports editor Satish. We have two special guests today, Paddy Upton and Chirag Suri. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Very
Good
much.
to be here again.
Nice to join you guys again. Thank you.
Yeah, these are two familiar faces, but Paddy is the mental conditioning. He was a former mental conditioning coach of the Indian national team as well as of South Africa. Currently, I think he is taking over assignment with the Indian hockey team as well. Now, Chirag, we all know he's played for the UAE. He's been an opener for the UAE team for several years, and he's also had played in the IPL a few years back. So we have a lot of cricket behind these experts today. Now, as for IPL is just about a week old and it's too early to read into the performances of teams. Yet, 9 games have gone by. Let's look at how the 9 games have panned out. Now, Chirag, I'll head over to you first straight away. Now, what do you make of IPL this year? Any surprises so far?
I mean, so far it's been quite interesting. I think, especially with the record total, being broken, start of the season. I think it's exactly the sort of intensity and you need, for a new season to start. It's got everybody watching. I think we've had some really entertaining cricket already. A couple of close encounters, games turning 2-3 times in a match. I think it's been quite interesting to watch, and as you said, it's too early to say too much, but I think I've enjoyed what we've seen so far, and no real surprises for me. I think we've seen the teams who've done well in auctions, and I think everybody's going to fix and figure out their 11 in the coming games, and you'll see even better lineups and more competitive cricket being played.
Satish, let me quickly come over to you. Yeah, have you noticed any changes, any major changes in the teams or their approach, or anything which you out of the ordinary?
Yeah, Shyam, I've been saying it a few times now, and the biggest change I see is earlier there used to be a solid spin focused attacks. Every team would will be having at least 2-3 good spinners. But for a change this year, I think thanks to the two bouncer rule, almost all the teams have gone pace heavy. I think that will make some of the teams pay a big price, is what I guess, as the match goes by, because the match between Sunrisers and Mumbai was a big eye opener, because the pacers couldn't do anything, and it's only the spinners who somehow brought the team back, and then even the pacers had to rely on the cutters and slow bouncers to make an effort. So it's going to be very interesting as the IPL goes by. The team that's going to have good spinners are going to have a good say as it goes, as the team tournament progresses.
Paddy, let me bring you in. You've been the mental conditioning coach of top flight sportsmen. Now you're with the Indian hockey team, I see. So, did you get to watch the IPL this year?
I have been following. I haven't watched ball by ball the 9 games, but I've certainly followed each of the games, either watching some of it or definitely on Cricket Info as the games have unfolded. And for me, what I really look at is, I say look at because it's the stuff that counts as the stuff we can't see now. It doesn't so much matter what results happen early on. We know statistically over the seasons, teams that do really well in the beginning don't necessarily go on to do well towards the end. And I think it's teams now that, we've seen, I think 5 games being one batting first, 4 games being one batting second. So there's a nice even balance around the coin toss. What's important, it is the third year in this 3-year auction cycle. So a lot of teams will be relatively settled. Some have got new players, particularly like a Mumbai Indians have had that big disruption with a new captain coming in. And these sort of first 2-3 weeks is more about teams finding their combinations on the field, teams gelling off the field. It's batsmen understanding each other and reconnecting with in terms of their calling and how they play and how they support each other in the middle. So this really is the team building phase. And results, certainly in terms of winning IPL, don't matter that much compared to how players, as I said, communicate, how they gel. IPLs very often are, if you take the top players, both foreign and Indian players, generally over a course of a season, their performance cancel each other out because you expect decent performances from your top players. And very often the teams that do really well, it's the younger Indian players, the less experienced players who make those small contributions with bat and ball that get teams over the line, particularly in close games. It's the extra 10 runs that is scored by batters you don't expect to score the runs, or bowlers who are able to close out some really important overs against big batters. So it's blooding the youngsters, and the contributions of the lesser known players often over the course of the 74 odd games will add up toward the end. And this is the building phase for that sort of off-field, less visible team building and team bonding that is actually going to see teams across the line by the end.
Thanks, Paddy, because in fact, that was precisely my question. What it'll take the teams to last such a long tournament, because it's a tournament of 74 matches. So what will they be looking at in terms of mental fitness or mental strength?
So, it's not so much about, it's maintaining the speed of the decline. And when I say decline, it's the mental and emotional energy batteries get more and more drained over the course of the 2 months. So almost all players, or most players and most teams, are going to end up with lower mental emotional batteries than what they've got now. And it's a case of managing the speed and the angle of that decline. And things that decrease or decelerate the decline is things like a really happy team environment where players are getting on really well. Things like having a comfortable hotel is very important. Having clever travel schedules. Some teams, their management, to save money, they choose cheaper flights. So they get players on early morning flights, which means disrupted sleep. So they might save some money, but they really deplete the team over time. You have other teams that are smart in terms of their travel, and they allow, late afternoon travel. Very often it's more expensive, but it's actually, in the long run, it actually pays the dividends. And, the one other thing that really drains batteries, to be honest, is when you have a team that loses 2 or 3 games in a row. That really rips the heart to a degree out of a team. And if you have a team where you have owners that get very upset and put more pressure on the team when they lose 2 or 3 games, that further decreases the mental and emotional energy of a team, compared to all teams will lose 2 or 3 games in a row, or most teams will. And when you've got a coach, a captain, and supporters that understand, and coach, captain, and owners that understand that you will lose 2-3 games, it's okay. It's how you respond to that, how you learn, and how you don't allow that to really deplete a team. So it's teams that manage those losses is really good. And similarly wins. If you have 3 wins in a row, it doesn't mean that you're going to win the IPL. If you get overexcited and people cut corners and party too hard, they're going to pay a price later, compared to teams that manage 2 or 3 wins in a row really well. They don't get excited. They don't over party. They keep doing the hard work, knowing those wins are soon going to turn to 1 or 2 losses. So it's how coaches, captains, owners, the leaders manage the environment that counts a huge amount to what happens at the end of the tournament. And that stuff never appears on the scoreboard.
Well, that is wonderful insight, Paddy. Now, Chirag, now Mumbai Indians, we know, have been 5-time champions. In fact, they hold a record. In fact, joint holders with Chennai now. but they've not been having a good year or two in the last couple of years. So even before this IPL started, they got off to a back foot in the sense they tried to change things around, bringing Hardik Pandya in. Last year, they had a change of coach. They brought Mark Boucher in. But this Pandya thing didn't go down well. Was it justified, the uproar?
See, like Paddy mentioned, I think there has been a lot of changes, and even if I see a Hardik Pandya, him playing that first game in Gujarat, getting booed, and things like that. Of course, he's a cool guy. He's gonna be calm on the face in his interviews, post-match interviews, everything. He's smiling, he's laughing it off, and we know Mumbai are slow starters, so don't, they and even the way they've lost, they've made a game out of a match where they've gone for 270, and still till the 18th over they were in the game. So only Mumbai Indians can do that. For me, they're a fighting team, and they've got some brilliant players in that, and they have some power batting. On the bowling front, I'm not sure how well balanced this team is. They still need to figure out their bowling options. It's still early days. Pandya's getting accustomed. He's come back, and there are lots of pressure on him. See, when you change a captain, when you remove a Rohit Sharma caliber captain, and you replace Pandya, the expectation, and there's a lot of pressure inside Hardik. It's not easy. And I actually want to ask Paddy also, what kind of things must be going on in Hardik Pandya, because he's always going to try to compensate. Of course, at that level, he's done it, and for so many years playing for India, he knows how to handle the pressure. But I feel this kind of pressure with the Ambanis and all that, it's something different, Paddy. I don't know what would you say?
Yeah, you're right, Chirag. There is going to be that much more pressure on him. But that said, I've been really, really impressed. I've done some work with Hardik. I'm really impressed with his outlook on life, his outlook on leadership, his outlook on teamwork. He's a very team-oriented captain. He's one of the few captains that when the team does well, he gives all the credit to the team. The team does badly, and he still does well. He takes all the blame on himself. So in terms of his leadership skills, his ability to shoulder responsibility, it's quite unique and quite exceptional. And it's going to be tested to the next level in this season. One, there is pressure from the Ambanis to win games. He's come to Mumbai and he's taken over leadership from one of Mumbai's favorite IPL sons, at least in Rohit. So that's really, really difficult. It's a difficult change room to manage between the two of them. But Hardik and Rohit are very different people, but they are very solid, very grounded. Hardik is obviously very flashy, but Rohit is a solid guy. He's a good guy. He's quite emotional. So it's going to test both of their emotional maturity. And, as men, both of them are definitely up to that test. And that's what international and top level sport is about. It's about not just dealing the pressure between bat and ball, but when you're in a leadership position, there's fan expectations, sponsor expectation, own expectations. Yeah. And if there's two guys who can handle it, it's going to be Rohit and Hardik. And it's not going to be a smooth journey.
Yeah. I feel I agree with you. I think the way I've seen Rohit bat in the first couple of games, he's had that sort of license that, that little extra pressure of captaincy is away. You can tell he's Rohit Sharma, the batsman. He's enjoying himself. He's going playing his shots from ball one. He's expressing himself. Just on the field when Hardik said, "Oh no, it's you have to go back." That was a very funny incident in the game. And Rohit Sharma was like, me, and Hardik's like, "Yeah, you need to go back." That was a very funny moment, and these cameramen, they capture it very wisely. So it's quite interesting to see, and I think it'll definitely be one of the big talking points of this year's IPL. Definitely, yeah.
Satish, like Chirag said, despite the change in captaincy, Mumbai hasn't fared too well. I mean, two matches is too early, and also Mumbai has always been slow starters. Most IPLs, if I remember, they lose their first match, so they are notoriously slow starters. But we know Mumbai has not been doing over the last couple of seasons. What exactly is going wrong with them? In terms of is it the team? Is it the balance of the team? It's a mental makeup. What's going on?
I think what has happened is, Sham, cricket is all about confidence. Once when you're doing well, that confidence helps you to perform and then believe that you could win the matches. But here, last couple of seasons, they have not done well. So that must be playing on their minds. I think, and also what has happened is like they have lost some of the good players, like Pollard has retired, Trent Bolt has gone. So these are some of the players that time and again they used to deliver when the team was in trouble. So again, the other good point is for them this year is, or rather last 2 years, is there are players like Tilak Verma or Naman, they are coming and trying to bridge that gap, which takes time. But what I also see is more than the batting, they somehow have the batting, and once Surya Kumar Yadav comes back, if and when, they have a good batting. But it is still the bowling that is giving them the trouble. Last year they didn't have Bumrah. Last year they didn't have a good fast bowler. So that way they are always on the back foot. And even this year they have Bumrah, but the support bowlers are not yet peaked, and then they are trying out various options. So this is one area I think where Hardik says that we have to set certain things right. I'm sure he would be looking at the bowling, because you can't give 277 runs on any wicket if the bowling, if you have some decent spinners, decent bowlers who could come and keep the batsman under check. So I think, yeah, as you said, they are also slow starters, but I still feel that this year they will come back and show better than what they have done in the last 2 3 years now.
Yeah,
Paddy, I'll
let's
come
not
back to you
forget,
again.
yeah, so just on that, let's not forget the importance of having a really good big auction each 3-year cycle. And when Mumbai spent a lot of money on Jofra Archer, it was a big risk. They spent a lot of their money and they lost that opportunity once they'd moved out of that auction. You know, Jofra Archer not pitching up, not being able to bowl, a lot of money was sunk into him and a lot of opportunity was used up that was very difficult to recover. So it's a lesson, you know, when a team makes a big mistake or an unfortunate mistake in the Jofra Archer case, it sometimes takes you 3 years to recover from it and you have to wait for the next big auction. So I think they're still suffering from that.
Yeah.
Paddy, we'll stay with you. And we again, coming back to the captaincy thing. Okay, let's leave aside Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya is not the only change. We have Pat Cummins coming into Sunrisers Hyderabad, taking over from Aiden Markram. Then we have Shreyas Iyer coming back from injury to take over the Calcutta Knight Riders. We have Rishabh Pant coming back there. So there have been change of captains. Of course, we have a totally, absolutely new novice captain in for the Chennai Super Kings. So how does a change of captaincy affect the teams?
Well, that's a very good question. A change in a significant leadership position always has a significant impact. That said, if you have a team that's got a really solid coach and a solid set of senior players and you get a new captain, it's the leadership influence is still relatively stable. Then the new captain, it's a lot easier for them to come in because they come into a stable leadership team or ship. Where you have a situation where you don't have a very strong leader or a coach, or you don't have a divided and united group of senior players and you get a new leader in, then it brings in a very different winds blow into that the sails of that ship. So, you know, Mumbai Indians, you've got a fairly new coach in Mark Boucher who's not established. You've got a new captain. That's very disruptive. Where some of the other teams, you've got someone who's come from within the team, who's been in the leadership role anyway, or in the leadership team or group within that team, and now they're just stepping into the title of captain. It's a lot smoother and easier and less disruptive transition.
Chirag, Hardik Pandya is not the only talking point of this IPL. We also had, I don't think Kohli can stay away from controversy, or controversy seems to follow him wherever he goes. Now, the huge talk about Kohli is at risk of being dropped from the India World Cup T20 team. It looks like he has to keep proving all over again every single time. Your thoughts, Chirag?
I don't know, you know, whether to believe these kind of comments or not, because I think going into any World Cup, if you have Virat Kohli available fit, I think there's no question about, you know, having him in your team. He proved it in Australia. He proved it last year, the 50-over World Cup. I think how many times does he have to, you know, prove it? I think it's silly to have such remarks or even questions asked about someone, who's so dedicated and, who's, done so much for your country. I think these kind of people, like, Paddy said, when you have that core senior players, around those young players, it also makes, younger players. I've been in teams where, I've played with, the likes of Yuvraj Singh, the Joe Roots. They make you feel calm. They make you feel confident. They tell you to believe in themselves. When you have, these kind of things coming from these kind of players, it makes a big impact on you, and gives you that big confidence boost. Like Satish said, cricket is a confidence game. It's a feel-good game. If you're feeling good, trust me, you will perform. Even if you're the best batter and you're not feeling well, you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not in a good mood mentally, not well, you're not going to be able to perform. Your chances of success are very, very low when you're not feeling good. So I think Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, both of them definitely should be there. I would definitely like to see the likes of maybe Yashasvi Jaiswal. I think Riyan Parag really impressed me last game. I think we always, India need that finisher like number 7-ish, to get us going really quick. I think Tilak Verma is also in the mix. So it'll be interesting to see, what kind of squad we go with for the World Cup. But we've loved watching some of the guys. I mean, the opening slot is very, very tight. Of course, we have so many players now, Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Abhishek Sharma has done well in the last game, and it's lovely to see that competition. Huh?
Rohit is still there.
Rohit is definitely there. Rohit is our captain. Mr. Jayesh has said that already. Jayesh has said that already, that Rohit Sharma will be the captain for the World Cup. So that's not changing.
No, but Shyam, sorry to interrupt. Paddy, because you worked with Kohli in the recent past and you have seen him come out of the dull period that he had. Do you think these kind of talk would help him, and what kind of a mentality he has got, Paddy? Just to give it a little perspective about Kohli's mindset.
I mean, Kohli's mindset at the moment and for the last while has been as good as you could possibly want it. He's, number one, incredibly confident in his game. The reason he's incredibly confident in his game is he prepares physically and technically and tactically better than probably anyone else in the world game at the moment. So it's like going to into an exam. If you've studied the whole book, you can be fully confident. Virat studies the whole book. He knows his game. He knows what he needs to do. He's got supreme confidence, and he's that big match player. The one thing that he might need to do going forward in T20 cricket is the degree to which you value your wicket is a really important currency. And Virat has possibly been guilty in the past of valuing his wicket a little bit
too
much or looking to bat a bit deeper. Once you've got really powerful players around you and you can rely on all top 7 players, that frees someone like Virat to play more freely. When you don't have bankers around you and really players that sort of 7 good batsmen either side of you, then you do need to carry your bat a bit longer and bat deeper into the innings. So very often it's who have you got around you, number one. And, if Virat has got the game that he could strike at 160, he generally will strike at 120, 130 in the early on in his innings, then move it up to 140, maybe 150, depends how long he bats. He might need to move that up and move up, sort of start at 130, 140 and get up to 150, 160 quite quickly. He has every ability in the world to be able to do that.
Lovely.
Thanks, Phil. In fact, that exactly was my question. Chirag, no, back to the field again. Now, we have had Rishabh Pant back on the field after what was a severe injury, and which maybe we thought would take him longer. He's back and he's been batting good. Your thoughts on how he's shaping up?
Oh, just happy to see him back. I think he's a great gutsy cricketer. The Indian team has missed him. Delhi Capitals have definitely missed him. So they'll definitely be happy to have him back. And yeah, it's just, it's always tough, coming back from injuries. I've also had an injury a couple of years ago with my hamstring. And then, just the recovery phase, you always have these doubts that, will I be the same? Will the injury, restrict me in any way. And he's had multiple injuries, with the accident. So I think mentally he's such a strong guy. I've had the pleasure of being around him a few times, and even speaking to him and stuff. And he's so strong mentally. Yeah, he's I think he really is. The kind of attitude he has for a young player is amazing to see. And definitely we're happy to see him back, and looking for him to do well, because it's very important for the Indian team as well that he has a good IPL and his confidence is back high. Not sure whether he'll be considered for the T20 World Cup. It'll all depend on the performances and what his body is at after the IPL. But it'll be interesting to see. Definitely an asset, especially with the shots he plays all around the ground. And definitely, I think it'll be interesting to see how he goes this year.
Paddy, let me bring in the same issues right away. Tell us how difficult, or what does it take for somebody to come off such a grievous injury to get back into top flight cricket? What does it take?
Well, the first thing, it takes time, and it takes, and Chirag's quite right, is every player will come back with some doubt. Is this going to play up? How's it going to play out? Is it going to recur? Will I recover? How's it going to affect me? And the only way really to have those questions answered is to go and test it. And then they go and bat, they go and sprint, and it's like, okay, that was okay. Maybe I can relax next time and sprint a little bit longer. And then if they pass that test just for themselves, it's like, okay, that was okay. So it's just a case of time and exposure so that the body can help overcome those doubts that are naturally there. And any amount of mental conditioning coaching, it can help to get somebody a bit more positive and a bit more confident in their body. But nothing replaces just repeated exposure over and over again. And each time it passes the test, it's another notch up in the confidence ladder.
There is an interesting pattern emerging here. All nine matches have been won by the home teams. What do you make of it?
I think the home teams are now either preparing the wickets according to their strengths, or they know the conditions better, so they are picking the right teams. So either one chance. It's really surprising how 9 out of 9 you could get it right. Yesterday, I think Delhi at one point of time were threatening to overchange it. Other day, even for that matter, Mumbai was very close to changing it despite chasing a big total. But yes, this is another pattern which is emerging this year. But also, what is also happening, Sham, like the two bouncer rule is also helping teams, because they could reduce that many number of balls to score. So that is also helping. Of course, doesn't have any connection to the home team or the away team. But certainly when the teams are chasing, we saw that in Sunrisers, they used it quite effectively to not allow the batsmen the chance to score freely. So these are some of the traits that's coming out. Again, it's very early to see how long this trend will go on. Because obviously it's not going to be easy as the tournament, such a long tournament is progressing.
Now that you bring up Sunrisers, let's stay with Sunrisers. Chirag, I am coming over to you with the Sunrisers question for you. Sunrisers, we know has not been having a very good last so many years. In fact, they even threw out their talismanic captain, David Warner, in pretty unfortunate circumstances. This time, they're looking a little different. In fact, last match, they scored a 277, a record total against the Mumbai Indians. Now, one major change we see is the arrival of Pat Cummins as captain. We also have Travis Head opening the batting. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same team from last year, which is a good batting lineup that includes Aiden Markram and Rich Klassen. So, what do you think of their prospects this year?
Very, very solid batting lineup, Sham. I think... as Paddy says, they have, that right mix of, senior cricketers, especially with Pat Cummins coming in, World Cup winning captain. He knows he's done well in these conditions in India. Definitely he knows these grounds well. He's played a lot of cricket in India over the years. And the way it's freed off even Aiden Markram, the way he's batting, Andre Klassen, Travis Head. He didn't even play the first game. That's how, the depth of the squad. Look at even the foreign, and Indian depth of their squad, all their top players, the expensive buys, the Indians or the overseas, they're doing well. Plus the youngsters like Abhishek Sharma stepping up, and that's where the difference that's where the difference comes, because when these guys start performing for you, that's when you get that extra 10%, 20% edge, and it eases off the pressure of the international and your Indian senior players. So that's what's been done really well in the first couple of games, and so far early days still, but they're looking like a really good squad. And especially the way Pat Cummins is coming in with those slower bouncers and bowling those into the wicket, getting that sort of tennis ball bounce. I think they really have their plans sorted, and it'll be interesting to see how they go now. Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up, my favorite question of the day. Over to Satish. Which is the team to watch this year? I will give you a one thing is you can't say Chennai Super Kings.
But Shan, unfortunately, I see four teams have very good mix. Again, sorry to go back to the previous one. Sunrisers, there is a one problem, Sham. Sunrisers are the only team to give away more than 200 runs in both the matches. So they have to score in excess of 200, 250, close to win their games. They have the batting, but will they be able to depend on that every match is going to be a big question that we'll have to see whether they'll be able to do it. But coming back to the question, I see Chennai has got a very good mix of batsmen, fast bowlers, spinners, all-rounders.
I said not Chennai, any other team.
No, but I see the next good team who could also come up is Rajasthan. They have a very good mix of fast bowlers, spinners, batsmen as well. And then you have Kolkata who have the same mix. And I would say these are the three teams to watch. And probably I would go Bengaluru as a fourth team who's got not the perfect mix, but somewhere there where you have Faf and Kohli to offset whatever the shortcomings are there with that bowling, whereas Siraj is a much better bowler these days than what he is in the past. So I would go with these four teams who could be going up towards the playoff is what my gut feeling is.
Paddy, what about you? Which are the teams to watch according to you?
So, I look at it because of my role, look at it slightly differently. I look at a relatively balanced team, not the most balanced team, who's got a leader and a captain who's going to keep the team together over the course of the season, a coach who's going to work really well with that captain and creates just a really good environment that towards the end of the tournament, that team is in the best possible space. So I'm not going to tell you which ones, because then I'm going to sort of be talking about who I rate as the good coach captain combinations in terms of their leadership ability. And that's probably from my role an unethical thing to say, but for me, that's what I look at, is a team with a decent balance of players, which most of them have got, but it's going to be the leadership that holds them together that I think plays a big part. And we've already mentioned it, that good leadership also makes the young players feel very comfortable. It gets the best out of them. It doesn't criticize them or be too harsh when they make mistakes. It's very supportive when they make mistakes, as opposed to drop them or criticize them when they make mistakes. And the management of those younger Indian players, it's very unseen, but it's critical in getting them into a good, confident mental space to be able to recover from mistakes that they're going to make and still deliver for their team in the next game. And as Chirag said, when that happens, when the youngsters deliver, it takes some pressure off the senior players, the top players. They're able to play with more freedom because they trust the youngsters. And then you start getting an energy or combination that actually wins IPLs, as opposed to statistics and how, and track records of players. It's the mental space that is maintained over the 2 months.
Fair enough. Now, Chirag, you can't say the same thing. You have to pick your teams. I'm not. You.
I'm picking. I have a feeling that I like. I think Punjab Kings is going to surprise a few teams this year. I just have a feeling that they have a good mix of bowlers, fast, medium, spin. They got a nice little squad. I really like Shikhar Dhawan as a captain as well. Like Paddy said, great leader, super calm, and very relaxed personality. Relaxed in the sense that he lets our players express themselves, not very pushy in terms of his approach. He likes to leave it to the players. That's his sort of leadership style. And I think some of the players are going to thrive under those conditions. Still early days. They've won a game, they've lost a game, but I feel that's a team that will surprise us and win good matches this year. They have a nice balanced squad, definitely.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's all from us today. And do come back to gulfnews.com and every single Friday, because we will have straight back for you every week. Now, for breaking news and updates, head over to gulfnews.com and all our social media channels. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that excellent chat. Goodbye.